You and I know that for those of us who are family men and women already, we all know that each time we think about what Nigeria is today, there's this panic, there is this worry over what our children are going to have as a society. That is a hallmark of our identification on this journey. Because people have come to the realization that whether you like it or not, the future in the Nigerian society is not really promising. It's not really promising. Anybody can say whatever he or she wants to say. Everybody can sound, uh, politically correct as much as he wants. But one thing is obvious. When you stand here today, look at the future, looking at the elements called political leaders, looking at the institution of the state, of the Nigerian state, looking at the highly hostile, competing system inherent in Nigerian society, you would agree with me that it doesn't send that ideal signal to what one's generation are likely to see. The honest truth is this: even the politicians themselves, the managers of the Nigerian state themselves, they know that it's a collapsed state. They know that the country is in a mess. They know that they cannot even have their keys, their walls in Nigeria. That is how terrible the whole situation is. They cannot entrust Nigeria to their family in terms of health care system. They cannot entrust Nigeria to their family when it comes to educational system, legal system, security system, safety system. They know it. So if those who are the echelon or the hierarchy of governance do not have confidence in the Nigerian state, I mean, those who are enjoying for free the machineries and the institution of the state, do not even have trust of protection, excuse me, from the Nigerian society. Now, how much more we, who are not within the circle of, having a state protection? And that is the reason why we ask for what we ask. Because if we do not understand this core value, if we do not understand this essential position, most of us will be toiling, thinking it is a joking matter. We're talking about something that has to do with after us. What is the fate of our children? Let us understand it from that perspective. Because when you understand the core value of a thing, that will determine your understanding your approach, your handling of that. A wise man said, when knowledge is not understood, abuse is inevitable. Because most of us think we are here asking for Biafra for funfair, or it's all about entertainment, or it's all about promotion of oneself, or it's all about who trends and who doesn't trend. These are just the lowest pattern of it. In fact, it's not even close to the essence of what we are doing. The core value to what we are doing is to bequeath a generation, known and unknown, a better society. That is the essence at which we do what we are doing. I do say it. Some of us, even in the next 20 years, might not be on the earth. I repeatedly remind us of this. I know people who have committed all their efforts in this journey who are no longer here with us. They have packed and leave. So that you understand that for those of you who think it's all about, when Biafra comes, you will be this, you will be that. These are rubbish. Pure rubbish. If that is the hallmark of your understanding for self-determination, it will amount to on goal, because life does not function that way. Life is only journey that nobody can vividly state who reaches his destination and who does not reach. Because the act of sin tomorrow, we can only try as humans. It is absolutely at the template of the Creator. So let us understand that what we are doing is a legacy, a journey of legacy, a journey of building a footprint. And that is what it is. That is exactly what it is. Because when I see some of us, the way we, our perceptions, I do nothing only to smile at some level of our ignorance to realism. The reality is there is no absolute assurance that all of us who are at the forefront of this journey will see it. We can only wish and say, oh, I wish you Biafra. We can only wish. But the angle of who sees it and who does not see it depends absolutely in the hand of the Creator of the universe. Know this and know peace. Just know this and know peace. So that you understand it's not all about you. It's not all about me. It's all about people you do not even know. Generation that have not yet visited the earth. It is all about. That is exactly what we are doing. And let me tell you, the politicians might not have, especially the politicians of Biafra extraction, might not have the courage to drive to press home what we are doing. But some of them wish they can, see us succeed. Yes, because in all ramification, Nigeria represents hopelessness. Even a politician who is enjoying government coverage for 8 years, one day will be outside the government. Look at the general that was killed in North. There was a time he was enjoying state coverage. But the former military spokesperson, at the time, he was outside the government and he became vulnerable. He retired to Katsina State and met the society he thought was not real when he was enjoying number of personnel around him. That is the beauty of life. That is simply the beauty of life. There was a time he could not go to Katsina without battalion. So at that very moment, he never understood what an ordinary people are seeing. And immediately left government coverage. He became vulnerable. He became so empty, unprotected. And you could see how Nigeria ended him. That is what it is. So when we have a such journey, that we know that our collective interest is at stake, it will amount to foolishness for us to trade it, for us to exchange it, for us to, approach it with passivity. This is an issue of survival. This is the issue of either we survive or we all perish. When you have that understanding, you don't come and import lassity. You don't come and import sentiment. It's not a business of sentiment. Even those who have secured sovereignty do not even allow sentiment to override their decision. People who have fought and gotten a country, who are no longer in the struggle mood, they don't even allow sentiment to override the place of logic and rational thinking. They face life for what it is. They allow logic, sound reasoning, rational thinking to envelop their decisions. They make law not based on who is available at that moment. They make law to preserve the state. They don't make law because an individual is sitting on that seat at that very moment. No. They make sure that the laws they make outlive their government. It's all about sustainability, rational thinking. But it's not all about, playing on English language or whatever. It's all about. I'm trying to communicate across all board. So ignore my If you think I'm grammatizing a lot, just let go. Allow that to slide. Pick the knowledge, pick the information, and forget the diction. So they make laws that outlive rather, the government. When you come to a society, you have the state. When you come to a country, you have the country, you have the government. Government comes and go, but countries remain steady. So in an ideal society, which I think that is what we are also yearning for, that is what we are pursuing for. We do not want replication of Nigerian system in what we are pursuing. If it is what we are pursuing, if all we are pursuing is the replication of Nigerian system and what we are pursuing, we have no business agitating. Face it. We should adapt to the Nigerian system. If in either by commission or omission, we allow Nigerian system to have a penetration in what we are desiring, we do not have the moral justification to ask for what we are asking for. If we can easily embrace corruption, if we can easily embrace non-transparent approach, if we can easily embrace all manners of dirty lifestyle while we are still on the journey, trust me, it will be so difficult for the world to support what we are doing. No country will support a liability because it's definitely going to be a liability we are going to bring to the world. Nigeria is a liability to the world. The world wishes the right thing should be done in Nigeria because go to all over the country. The immigration crisis, Nigeria is contributing over 20% to global immigration crisis. Why? Because events at home is hostile, not out of natural happening. It is purely out of the mismanagement of public trust. That's why if you go to South Africa, everybody is shouting Nigeria sugar. Even within West Africa sub-region, go to Ghana, go to Europe, go to the North America. You see how Nigeria have constituted a heavy burden to the world. Why? As a result of institutional failure, leadership failure. Yes. And that's why, till today, till tomorrow, she remains a burden to the Committee of Nations because she can't manage her citizens as a result of institutional failure. And that is what none of us should desire to have in the country we are dreaming to have. We are not going to learn discipline. We are not going to learn transparency in Biafra. We are not going to learn it when we have attained it. It must reflect in us now. We're on the journey. Yeah, it must reflect now we are in the journey. So when most of you think, oh, when we are saying the right thing should be our front burner, some of you think it's all about personal. We're talking about personality. No, we are not talking about personality. We are talking about a collective image, a collective image, collective identity. Let us be known with cleanness. We used to brag with this, mantra, whiter than white. Yeah, we used to brag with that. We used to brag with that. So what am I trying to say? It is important, highly, highly important for us to understand that the kind of image we are projecting defines what we are seeking for. The kind of image we are projecting defines what we are seeking for. If we project an image of recklessness, an image of indiscipline, an image of non-transparency, we end up turning to a mockery to the global community. Because nobody would want to bank with a rogue system. Nobody. Absolutely nobody would do that. Sometimes we play this card of, oh, the world is not supporting us, the world hates us, the world do this, the world. Let me tell you, as I am, there are a lot you do not know about me as an individual. There are a lot. But I want to assure you something. In as much as I am part of global transactional system, financial system, in as much as I am part of global communication system, there is nothing hidden about me before the eyes of global intelligence agency. Most of you do not know this. Well, some of us do not know because of our level of understanding. I can pretend to be whatever I am. I can pretend to be whatever I think I am. But the honest truth remains, in as much as I am part of global financial system, in as much as I am part of global communication system, I use this. In as much as I use this, there's nothing hidden about me in the eyes of global intelligence agencies. Any day they want to profile me, any day they want to know everything about me, what I receive and what I give out, it is at their fingertips. So for you, you might be seeing me as whiter than white. You might be seeing me based on things I'm professing. You might be seeing me based on things I'm professing. But the global eyes know me beyond what you think. They know me beyond what I say. They know me beyond the public display. And that is how the world is. That is how the world runs. That is the functionalities of the world. So when we say to you, do everything possible as you can to project a positive image for what we're doing, You are not doing it for anybody. You are contributing your own quota to the survival of public interest. Some people have done a whole lot of damages to the image of this great movement. A whole lot of damages. Without understanding that, immediately you are flagged down as someone without discipline, someone with a reckless behavior, someone with, highly corrupt tendencies. You might be shouting, you might be making noise on public space. The real actors who have what it takes to move your project will distance from you. They will distance from you because they know you better than what the public know. Yes, that is how it is all over the world. That is how it is all over the world. I can, claim whatever I want to claim before your eyes. I can display all manners of dramas before your eyes. But the truth remains, the global intelligence, as far as I am part of global financial system, global communication system, I am known better than those who are not even saying anything about me. You that are even saying something about me, you do not know me. Because your submissions are speculative. You have no access to who I'm communicating with. You have no access of who I'm dealing with. But there are elements who have access to all these things, even without my authorization. Yes, they scoop, they eavesdrop. Even in my most secret dealings, even when I think no one knows, they have access. They have access. Because they control the global financial system to know things happening around me. They control the global communication system. So if they want to know, they will definitely know. And that's why. So these are things some of you do not know. When you think you are, in a woman, you're smart, you're swimming, you think, oh, you're a professional swimmer. You don't know that your bars are being seen. My people used to say, when a woman that is how the world is designed. But to you might be thinking you're swimming well. You're a good, Olympic swimmer. But you do not know. You are absolutely not even close to being a good swimmer. Because your bars are all over the place. And that's why we must not allow people with a heaviness to board in the journey we find ourselves. This is not a journey of sentiment. If any one of us is found wanting, if any one of us have recklessly positioned he or herself in a place that turn him or herself to be liability, should be jettisoned. That is how ships survive in the ocean. This is how ships survive in the ocean. When ships are coming in the ocean and they meet a heavy storm, to lighten itself, the ship will start throwing some containers overboard. To lighten itself. It is called jettison. A movement that wants to survive should have no business with sentiment. It doesn't matter how good I was. Any day my actions undermines the movement. We are still it's called movement. We have not yet settled. That is one thing everybody should know. We are still on the journey. Oh, you don't say, oh, Chika Austin was a very good, person. And today, that Chika Austin is acting contrary to the sources of this movement. Take him off. Take him off. As a deterrent and for the survival of the movement. Very, very important. I have studied extensively to other people who have, survived. And I'm still studying people who are still on the journey. One common thing I'll find out in them is that they have no business pampering stupidity, pampering indiscipline. They have no business with that. They have no business, absolutely no business. Because they understand the danger of them having a half success. They understand the danger. Most of you think this is a joking matter. Every one of us who have signed into this great journey must understand that we have sentences on our head. There are certain things Nigerian government could not do on us because we are careful not to play into their gallery. Take note of that. Every single one of us asking for this great journey. It is full of pride for one to be a freedom fighter, for one to demand for freedom. But the truth remains, even when you're asking for freedom, the oppressor will do everything to criminalize it. Because they know there is no how they will pin you down until they blackmail you. And how do they blackmail you? To get you associated with criminals. I repeat, there is no how a country, sometimes when we talk about geopolitics, some people ignorantly and foolishly laugh at it, and you can see the outcome. That's why when people see receive stamp in a letter, they are jumping up because they do not understand the administrative process. They do not. And that shows you level of gullibility. And when you presented opportunity for them to understand protocols, for them to understand administrative procedures, they start maligning you. They start laughing at their own delusion. It is terrible. Because tell me why somebody will be jumping up that you write a letter to agency and agency put up acknowledgement stamp. And you start, hey, you start jumping up. This a day-to-day activities. This is just a day-to-day activity. If you take a letter to court, the clerk will receive and give you a receipt copy, acknowledgement copy. If even the lowest business places do it. But when we say, learn all these administrative procedures, learn all these protocols, some of you will start talking rubbish. The opportunity for you to understand basic and elementary things, you will not. You will not. And you fail to understand that where knowledge is missing, ignorance will always showcase itself. And of course, sometimes it breaks my mind to know that some of the things a nursery school fellow could know is things we are even showing level of deep ignorance. Excuse me. So what am I trying to say? The leadership should do everything within her power to remake the already damaged image of IPOB. Most of us do not understand certain things happening. Maybe I have this opportunity to say this. Or maybe I skip it for now. The leadership has been in communication with, being on the process of building friendship, global friendship at the last scale. And what most of these guys do not know, that you wrote a letter and the people who received the letter had to call the leadership. Most of you do not know this. Even American embassy called the leadership in one country, asking them that we received a letter and this is. And tell me, how would the embassy reach out to the leadership if the world does not understand what is going on? I don't know if you understand my analogy. You put up a petition against me, for instance, and the institution at which you put up reach out to me and say, somebody wrote. That shows my place is highly recognized. My place is highly respected. That is what it implies. And of course, trust the men and women in leadership. They made a resounding clarification. Most of you do not know. They made a resounding clarification. The minions can be jumping, but their key players also got the message clear. Of course, the leadership made it clear to these bodies that in the first place, there is no position of such as claimed to be the source of that letter. The leadership made it clear. Yes. It is as simple as that. And those who are not informed, those children you see loitering all over the internet, they are not informed. But those need to be informed have appropriately been informed, and we move. It's as simple as that. So we are projecting our image. Let nobody think that some of our people, you see, being neutral as regards to Biafran thing. Some of the reason why they became neutral is because of certain things they know. A poor man have no business with intelligence report. That is how it is all over the world. Because it is expensive to source intelligence information. It is quite expensive. Go data. Before we are having access to high level information. It's quite expensive. So some of these billionaires, some of these top guys in our land that you see, they seem to be, I'm not saying all of them, I say some. You see some of them lagging behind in what we're doing. It's because of things they know about Onyendu and his siblings, things they've done. They know the shenanigans. They know that everything is just joke. They know they are not serious. They know they are just playing hide and seek, living their life large. You know, having access to 5-star hotels, living an expensive life at a detriment. And the funniest thing is that when the resources is going down, they start telling you, go and create sin to enable the negotiators to come and say, how do you bring down these things that are happening? How do we solve it? And they put up a sleep. That is not freedom fighting. It's not freedom fighting. And that's why when people want to say, no, this is not the right thing, they say, don't talk. It's a brand. It's our company. You don't do that. You don't do that. When people want to say, do the right thing for the sake of people who are committing their lives, their resources, their comforts, they say, no, don't tell us anything. Whatever he says goes. Who told you? Who told you? Where did you get that stupid mentality? It can't. It can't. That's why when he gave order for Radio Biafra to be shut down, that didn't go. When he gave order for Simon Eber to have access, that didn't go. It didn't go. Why? Because if the leadership do not protect the interest of the people, a time will come, the people will also blame them and accuse them of betraying their interest. It is normal. Yes. People are documenting, people are writing. People are documenting, people are writing. They will be accused of aiding and abetting the scamming of the people. And I can't be party to that. I would rather take a bow and leave. Yes. I would rather take a bow and leave. Because is not a journey of 2 days. For one to do everything he's doing to remain clean to where he is today. Then you tell me because of loyalty. You think because of loyalty, somebody should just allow himself to be wrecked. It doesn't work that way. So let us understand something. The world is in the business of helping people who are asking for their freedom. The world is in the business of helping people who are asking for their freedom. The world is in the business of loaning her voice to people asking for freedom. They are doing it to the Palestinians. They are helping the West Saharan Arabs. They are helping, the Somalilanders. They are advocating for a lot of people. The world is in the business of doing that. But before the world does that, the world should be fully aware that you have integrity to project. The quotient of your integrity is your asset. For those of you who think it is all about no, it's not. Nobody will be interested to commit her resources to a reckless people. No, it does not happen that way. It does not happen that way. The Biafran people might not be aware, but the truth is that global intelligence agencies know everything. Including when they were asking us to be praying. Donyendu was somewhere in Ethiopia and the Kenya, having his life, having fun. But they subjected us into praying. That is just the height of insult. And even when he was caught, doing his private life, the same people told us he was in the mountain. He was in the mountain. You see, one of those things that really breaks me is when I see myself being cajoled, being played upon. It hurts me. That people were committedly praying for you. You subjected them into prayers and you are doing your thing, living your normal life. Was it picked up in the mountain? There was no mountain. There was absolutely no mountain. Was it picked in the prayer house? But guess what? People were asked to be praying. People were asked to be praying because the people were seen as stupid people. We were seen as stupid, ignorance, and people who could not reason. That even little girls their tickets were bought. Look at a small girl, Mesomachu, said, even when everybody was talking about Kenya, the girl was saying she traveled to Ethiopia. Even when all of us, our attentions were all in Kenya, the little girl was saying she travels to Ethiopia to see him. People, lavishing public funds. And in order to keep, of course, we were all gullible. In order to keep our mind busy, they told us, you fools, you morons, be praying. You morons, be praying. When he ran into problem, instead of saying anything, they saw so that he was in the mountain. In fact, there is no disappointment than that. There is no crime greater than that. Betrayal of trust, betrayal of loyalty. And do you know the terrible part? Is that till tomorrow, there is no responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. When people say, oh, you asked us to be praying, but you were doing something else in Ethiopia and Kenya, instead of them to say, I'm sorry, Onu ahum overrided me. Onu ahum meri him na chohe kamme. Onu ahum overpowered me. Do you know what they start saying? Who are you to ask me? Is my private life. Oh, is your private life? Is your private life? And you subjected millions of us, bamboozled us, fooled us into praying a prayer that God has no business with it. No sign of taking responsibility. The moment to take responsibility, we are told, shut up. It is his private life. And instead of him to take responsibility, he chooses to be creating internal conflict in order to destroy the people so that they cannot be together and ask, nah, instead of taking responsibility, they choose to destroy everything so that the people will be so weak to come together and ask, why did you treat us the way you treated us? Because he does not want anybody to ask anything. I would rather destroy everything than to be answerable to the people. I would rather put down everything than to be answerable to the people. Can understand that spirit? Why did they got mad with the leadership? That the leadership say, okay, let us know what the former leader did in Kenya. And the leadership went into Kenya. Start asking questions in Kenya. They got a lot of disturbing information in Kenya. Their briefcase were filled with a lot of disturbing information. The leadership refused to go by speculation and said, let us go to Kenya and know what happened to our former leader, and which is normal. Reasonable people do not bank on speculation. They would want to know what really happened. They flew in, got to Kenya, discovered a whole lot of things. That he lives there, he lives his normal life there. He wasn't just a visitor, he was a resident. They got a lot of things, and he became mad at them. Who gave you the boldness to go to Kenya to know what happened in Kenya? That was the beginning of the sorrow. For you people to have dared to go to Kenya to know what happened, I would destroy you people. But we said, the people said, no, you can't. You can't destroy them. You can't destroy them. If they are standing on a 40 ground, then you can. But if they are not, you cannot destroy them. Most of you do not understand this. And they started splashing money, contacting people to get some of the key media people around them. For your information, I always say it. All to the glory of God. If some of us are not contented with what we have, we should be in the camp of the minions. If it's all about money, I think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will pay better. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will offer huge to people like me. Does DOS give me anything? Absolutely nothing. Go and find out. And I don't also expect them to give me anything. Where are they going to get what they will give me? Are they going to use their personal thing give me? When we have a major issue, the sponsorship, the supporting of our men and women in the bush. So if it's all about money, the siblings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will pay me well. Yeah. I should be working for them. I will give them prize and they will trust me, they will get it. And of course, I'll be now shouting, like the minions. But because, what am I doing with that? What am I doing with that? I've been blessed in all ramifications. The Creator blesses the works of my hand. He has been doing that graciously and mercifully. So why will I bank on a human? Because if it's all about money, the DS doesn't have it. And I stand to be corrected. Those who are close to me know that I'm not hungry. I run my businesses successfully. Because there is this mentality some of you believe, especially some of you who were fooled to think you have to, because you're doing struggle, you should just depend on the time for game bambo. Feast in yourself. Have a business. Have something doing. You say no. Or you believe somebody dependency mentality, which is even on Igbo spirit. The Igbo spirit discourages dependency mentality. You have to know that. Hippopotamus people threw in their millions. People threw in their lives. A lot are languishing in the prisons. The only thing you could offer to them is to destroy that loyalty and lose life in Ethiopia and in Kenya. And when people talk, you want to flag them down. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So when you see politicians, some of these are politicians being skeptical to talk about him. When you see some of these guys find it difficult to associate with the movement, some of you open your mouth and say they are sabo, they are sabo, they are sabo, because you do not even understand the context, the ground at which they are avoiding association. Was it not here? They disgracefully went to see Sheyi Tinubu, got to deal with him, came back and started shouting that he has not fulfilled his own part. When they went to see Sheyi, did they carry the leadership along? To tell it's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about them. I pity those charlatans who do not understand this realism. When they get people into a mess and those people run into problem, they move on. They don't care. They just move on with their lives. Was he not here? They started promoting the name. They said Kanus, Kanus, Kanus. And we thought everything was joke. They started telling us that it is their brand. It is their company. Do you understand the temerity? Do you understand the gravity of the insult? And the next thing you hear, if you don't like it, go and form your own. The same thing Wike is telling people. Look at their mentality. Go and form your own. So all we are doing is, if we are 3 million people, everybody should have his own church. Oh. So if we are 3 million people, Keiko that will go and form his own. Chikosim will go and form his own. You that is watching, you go and form. Oh, I don't need understand. Go and form your own. The time for them to explain to people. They said if you don't like what they are doing, go and form your own. So if we are 3 million IPOBians asking for self-determination, we should have 3 million groups. Do you see how wicked these guys are? Do you see how I wonder how they sleep. I just wonder how they sleep. I wonder how they sleep. That's how funny it is. Very dirty on every side. People who believe that everything is money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. To a point that even their last born had the courage to tell a judge, give me your offer. Of course, they believe that, of course, we the fools all over the world will contribute. That Emmanuel Kanu told the judge, say, give me your offer. The judge said it. Did they challenge it? Did they say the judge, you were lying? Did they say, judge, retrieve that statement? And this is the image, the people you want the world to respect you. Like, no, let me understand. This is the people you want the world to respect you for associating with. I stand to be corrected. Somebody who had the boldness to tell a judge, not minding, had the boldness to call a judge. You can't imagine. You must have a character. Talent will announce you. Character will consolidate you. In everything, there is always an attitude towards that. In everything. If you're a freedom fighter, you must do everything to be clean. You must do everything to be clean. You must do everything to be clean. If some of you hear things we have heard and things we have seen, strong evidences we have seen, some of you would have even gone mad. Some of you would have gone mad. And honestly, where somebody will come and say, people are kombamba, some lose all their lives. Some are languishing in prison and they move on, living their lives, living comfortably. No empathy of any kind. Then when we want to talk, some of you will say, no, don't say it. He's still in the prison. It is in the detention facility that he's doing everything to make sure he destroys the movement so that there will be no one standing to ask, what did you do with our time and money? Most of you are saying, hey, he's in detention when he comes out. But it's obvious to you that somebody in detention has even written a letter. Because sometimes when people say, it becomes laughing. That was how they went to Israel, mess Israel up. I have my friend, Jaspaka, who stays in Israel. They went to Israel, told the people, oh, contribute. We are going to make sure Israel get now. People trunched, brought out their hard-earned money. Etienne Abalari. And tomorrow, most of you will be shouting, are there not many Igbo people in Israel? Why are they not identifying with Biafra? So, Idu Pukwe Madu, in the same process that swindled him. The record is there. They did it in Israel. Somebody was telling me, somebody went and see him, and he was saying that his anger with Chinasa is that they have sent signal to Chinasa in different ways. Or trying. So you means everybody should be in the business of Iwatihana. Oh, the problem you had with him was you have sent signal to him in several means. Kachina Samu Watihana, but trying Watihana. That is how funny it is. That's very funny. It became a problem. So Chinasa should be in the business of when you people gather the money, then you start lavishing all over the world. flying first class, going to 5-star hotels, importing ladies here and there. Then on our Talihana at the detriment of those who are in the grave today. Say na and you signal several times. Now everything is making sense to me. Somebody told me 3 years ago. 3 years ago. That Kanu told her 3 years ago that she should allow him to friend her, who change their family destiny. The girl told me, and it was shock when I asked her, "Got some evidence of what you're saying?" It was shock. Now, change destiny. So we are talking about self-determination. Am I knowing another dimension about no wonder Simon Ekpa always tell us that what you don't know is bigger than you. No wonder he told us new dimension. Because we are just loitering around old dimension. We don't know that and we're a new dimension. Yes. People do not know. That's why when intelligence agencies share this information with some people will be telling us that we are fools, that this is a Biafra fraud. And we do everything to fight those people. Because we are doing it with the genuineness of our heart. We put our time, we put our money, we put our comfort. We put our time, we put our money, we put our comfort. I have not in my life said IPOB pay me. It has never. I have never said pay me. When there was a time when somebody who does editing before publication had a problem, a laptop problem, and I had no money to buy for him, I approached Kekoda and said to him, Biko, unuge laptop kamnye the editor. Because I don't use laptop. I write with my phones. Things I do basically with my phones. I'm not a laptop person because I'm busy. Laptop, why will I sit down and start opening laptop to do internet work? No. Because my days are always filled. And I told Kekode, I said, please, can you help? This person is a person, when we write an article, we forward to him and he does the editing. He takes time to edit. So when the time to sit down in his location, open the laptop, I don't do that. I write with my days. Kekode, that's okay. No problem. He will talk to his ESCO members. Do you know that laptop they bought, they raised money for? It is what these minions are saying. Oh, Chikaston, we bought you a laptop. Dead brains. Do I work with laptop? So on my occupied day, I should be carrying a laptop bag. Carrying a laptop bag. Wherever I find myself, open laptop. Do you know the stress? And you see them talking that rubbish. Because their mentality is that every single person have a low life like them. That is what it is. We got messed up. And till tomorrow, they are still bragging. They say we have no mouth. We shouldn't talk because we are pushing for a company brand. That is madness. That is pure madness. Look at, one thing is this: when you run into problem, when one loses the battle, he does everything to even work side by side with his enemies. Look at the Solomon, the guy they say is a deputy Sokoto DOS. Look at the same guy who left the movement because the guy was angry with the way Mazi Kanu was squandering money. Many, many years ago, the guy was bitterly complaining that the way this guy was eating money that even politicians have not. And the guy left. They went and caught the guy now because he just let them gather everybody who accept because they want to fight the leadership. Leadership that is not even interested to fight you. Leadership that is so, teleguiding the members of the media to make sure nobody goes off way, blowing up. Because some of the things you don't know is that some of the things that these media guys know, if they started saying it, wahala go there. Wahala go there. So when you do not want to join on that their criminal enterprise, they blackmail you. Look at the wife. Look at the shame, the insult they are piling on that woman because the woman knew a lot. And she said her conscience cannot allow her to partake in such dirty dealings. And guess what? Insult on her. And I keep telling people, if they could handle the wife this way, is it you they will never handle when they get that opportunity? Even the lawyers are aware that it's all about business. Can't you see what the lawyers are doing? The one from my clan has moved on. Because the scripture said, to the crook, I will show myself crook. To the forward, I will show myself forward. They also came, discovered that, aqua business. Aqua business. It is time for us to take our own. They also did. The likes of Aloy was, in fact, the likes of Aloy opened his own office. There are some morons in Canada. He gave them title, Unseen Hands. Aloy opened his own source of enjoyment. He called them Unseen Hands. Means he did not even, this Unseen Hands, Omepele his own church. Omepele his own church. Ya boy on sin hands. Mandela also have his own source of so he also gave his own title. They came in, balkanized the people, fooled them. Onye mepe unit or church in Kiakbo her title. Allah on sin hand also did everything to get the support of Mazi Nnamdi to bless on sin hand. Allah really on sin hand. Allah really avid. Allah really ambassadors. That was why when those ones started threatening, I said, relax, I will hand over the movement to you. When you hear Chris Wong is the member of AVID. And they rigided na dollar. Nemeka opened his own and called them 100 men. Parish Akaria diocese. Chineke melumebere. And I adopt people from every quarter. Hey! When the people of Avid started agitating that you cannot do this to us, they said, relax. Relax. We're going to hand you over the team. Because he knows they are going to also be ceremonial. It's okay. Give me one of you. They gave him Chris Wong. He said that I have made him the Sokoto DOS leader. Yes. He commissioned him. But does he have power? Chris Wong doesn't have power. Who is really controlling? Kanu and on Mazi Nnamdi. They are the ones controlling. They can call him tomorrow and say, go to business center. Type this thing and sign. After all, Avid, the money they donated, I have seen it. One of them is governing the minions. Yes. One of them from Avid is governing the minions. Although some of the minions are agitating, why would this happen? Well, but it doesn't matter. You have to abide by that. That is the value of the data money that you were paid. That is what it is. When you condescend so low, you become a victim of chess game. And that's why you see them bitter. Because they believe we should also remain in the stupid form. They believe that. But somebody like me, no. Because my survival has no business with the movement. By special grace of God, I have defined a pathway of survival. I work hard. That's why I can only do program weekends. My weeks are filled. By special grace of the Creator. And of course, I also know many of us who have also defined that pathway. Look at Bright Chimeze Ishowa. Does he have time for nonsense? Because he's busy calculating how to deliver projects. He's busy calculating how to deliver projects. Look at Ben Pig Farm. Every time he's talking rubbish. He has nothing doing. Absolutely nothing. So when you see them, people opinionate over some, they start agitating because they believe their unseen hand source is to collapse. That is what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's why the leadership must be supported. We must support them. It is obvious to us that, in 2021, let me tell us something, a story. When I wanted to register my company, go incorporated, that was 2021. I met those of them working in CAC, that is a Corporate Affairs Commission. And I said to them, I want to, go incorporated. And they said to me, okay, what is it business name or you want to do limited liability? I said, I want to do limited liability. They said, fine, that means you're going to have shareholders. Listen and listen very carefully. I said, yes. Okay, where are your shareholders? I start sorting, shopping for like minds to be shareholders in the company. And I was able to get some persons. And we registered the company as a limited liability. And we have percentage of shares as a, board members, We have various percentage of shares that are allocated to each and every one of us. Now, after registration, we move to financial institution to, open an account with the company. And at that level, the bank said to us, you're going to have a system that one person might be receiving an alert, being his phone will be used. But when it comes to withdrawal, there must be a joint approval. There must be a joint approval. That was how they controlled the management of the asset of the company. Till tomorrow, I cannot unilaterally have access to the fund of the company. Neither other shareholders could do that. No. So what goes out, we know. So in this case, IPOB started with such composition, but at a time when they decide to go rogue, they even remove those who could challenge, who could challenge how they manage the fund of the people. They remove some of them. So one of them was asked to resign, to write to the bank in Germany and say he is not going to also be. He was pressured. I spoke with South African National Coordinator. The same thing they did to him. They pressured him to go out of the banking as a signature to. And that was how they were getting people they knew that might challenge the essence at which they were spending public funds. They bullying them off way. And somebody will tell me, Chika Austin, say nothing about this. Are you mad? Don't you understand? We are accountable to our conscience and the people. That is what it is. So because of our time, I'll open the line. We're not going to take much calls because time is not really, you know, we're going to take few calls on the number you're seeing on your screen. We're going to take few calls, then we'll come to the end of the program. But what is most important is that we must preserve through institutional building this journey. This journey does not belong to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Neither does it belong to his siblings. It is the people's oriented journey. Yes, that is what it is. You can talk as much as you want to talk. You can react as, as much as you want to react. It is good. You know, very, very important to understand all these things. While we're saying this, some of you might say, oh, you're being harsh. Don't expose anything. Oh, so we take few calls and we come to the end of the program. Very, very important. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, good evening from here, caller.
Mazi question.
There will.
I'm at work, and I was just listening to you. I thought that I'm going the book, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I need to hear it for live.
Okay.
But now that we said that somebody should call in, sending me plan, I need to buy for because I'm still at work, but I'm using my earpiece to be listening to you because sometimes people like you are talking. You need to have strength, you know, whenever you're getting some information and people do it like the way you read it. You understand?
Mm.
You know, when you get this basic name and some clues coming from Canada.
There will.
Like you say, I want our people to start, open our eyes and our understanding and our reason for this reason, remove the nation. When Biafra land, which you and I know, I know you yourself, you know how you live in Biafra land, right?
Of course.
People don't want to tell me that that day, that day they gave the government to our leader. I was, away because that big movement here, I couldn't sleep. Do you know that government even made me? In fact, anything about Yoruba, I studied recently because I watched that broadcast, that judgment that day. I was even looking at this lawyer, eh? I didn't put it there because the judge knows them all in that court. I was even ashamed of myself that very day. And now, the judge leaders from pronouncement or value. But our leaders cannot be achieving things, not anything. Because now, people should reason. Why is it that people are now going to see you truly? So in Biafra now that anywhere they know that you are an IPOB, you are the government of the crew, so you are an IPOB, you are risky. You be locked up. You expect to be alive. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Now, people will get it. And come out. And tell you. Well, that's it. Okay, now, that same lawyer, that day, will not go to second and get that a letter. Saying, very good. That now the family wrote a letter to the United Nations. And that that is no longer done. The government, somebody where they say they don't have access to media, but now, electing should be a United Nations, electing to governments that will no longer work with
72 virgins.
huh?
He said 70. Oh, to the
No longer, there's no longer working with it. It doesn't matter. I heard there was something that was just I heard in the teacher say something that he went to see today. Somebody that was approaching to have around to come to Zabella. He now go to the ground there and they will not, Nigerian government will not arrest him. Do you know that if you are coming down to Nigeria, once you are around the airport, they take your phone. You know if you are right to the money. Then, all of a sudden, people will now go to people and not baby. Telling you that now the camera has raised 100 men. The government is 100 men that will come and do what? When Nigerian government is looking for, I don't know, people I don't know how people live it. I mean, there's something I want people to know in this your broadcast. Now, like in Canada now, you know, why the Kanu cannot come to Canada? If you want to register any place like the IPB now, you want to register it in Nigeria. It is the people that need to be registered. You need to registration. Are you getting me?
Yes, that is what it is.
Like now, I want to do that. I want to go to Paris to register my company. You will be the owner. Give your neighbor's address. Give every of your SI number. You know the current PCI is your security SI number. That's it. Social security number. That's what they call it. Are you getting me? This is and whatever happens, it is you that is getting a blame. So, the people that are fighting that now they can't be more registered any IPO in Canada. So, what I'm now the kind of what I came up with. Now the kind of people who put it up, I even do anything. Are you getting somebody that is 15 years in Canada. Are you getting like I am now? I am a citizen. You know, I will give my details. Anything happens, if anything goes wrong, I'm like a police, they take it down.
Yes.
So, I can't do that. I'm only here. No, so, no, don't go like that. That's the thing, no, ya wuru ma ibere gari ni so bi mo pa so bi no de ina de tara ga do ko de Canada government ha o no the people na kana Well, oh my God, I'm with my SI number, give my phone number, everything. For me, to with my ID card, everything. What is not done. So, you are this thing is just, when you're done, this thing I know, you are in the final stage of this program. So, people do much of that, I know, you know, the kind of, then they say, I have a Biafra. Not you,
No. No.
and that's why I have a Biafra. So, in the history of that, one man, it's like, always some information. I think it would. I don't know my hand. I just put, I don't know what to maybe your name and the water from the Kenyan plan. These are information. Pass it out. So that I am to bring that propaganda.
Not all.
We are no longer doing anything propaganda. So, this information, any legit something. Legit something. And this is, come on. You cannot, I think, you live the meaning with all your heart. Then the big one is go some, what I want to do. At the end, go back, people like me, what you
To I'm going to the sound.
I'm going that very day, if you do Hamadi, if you do not become tired of you, Hamadi, that is the Rama. Not a hospital. Now, that is. That's now that the
Mad today. He's suffering from BP. BP as a result of that breaking news. And he's battling it now.
the woman of people 22 and Biafra because come on, Biafra. When in the meeting when everything, I didn't confuse about it. I used the thing. But when come at Biafra, the was saying again, the suffering of our people, I used the thing. So this lady, one brand of confused, so I said, one thing, now that I'm to go, I used the thing. So, the mother, I was saying it. The mother, do you know this woman, to her. This woman died because of heart attack.
She died.
The mother died. She died. She died.
Unfortunately.
That was so a bomb to a lot of people. I'm telling you. The woman died. The woman died. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who had this too because of that.
She died. After a lot of money, not go for that, because now we want to believe that. A man and water, you ask yourself, I'm not going to say you or hear what I do. You didn't ask you anything about the fact. Then, because of that singular mistake, people died. Then already enough. I keep on asking this question. Why did they come out there and prepare it? When you can look leadership in against this man, when they can tell you, what's all this thing? This man, against this man. You don't know. People come out after today. People, everyone share their UN headquarters. That was the thing. Now, that thing now, then this really is the building, this thing, Agala, Benita, I had my year here. Also, my detail, my video, because the machine comment. Somebody tried having to, and I made a comment on that thing because comment and materials, comment section, in two points. So, my brother, okay. Now, you know, my brother, and I think they don't think, now, then, some people do that, people want to move on the neighborhood. When you feel they flying mountain, I can get. So, you can yell like that. It's not easy to, it's not even outside. The people, man, even when my community in Canada, my community, like, because it's stable, even movement, like, that. The way put the hand again, Europe, finally, Canada. That's one money. That's one I'm going to be 17 years. My connect, all of this. You don't know, I can't also, I'm the person on my feet. Actually, I played about, we have our meeting on the 19th. So, it's a hard ground way. Because I know what time to be leader. Nobody can, you know, can do us. So that it cannot be people. Now, if I don't know what happen,
No.
and I can go. I don't know, I will go to you, I will not be back more than
What's about them?
follow, I'll follow to the party. I will not follow to the party,
No problem. This is Okoshedre. Nke bụ eziokwu na it is a people movement. It doesn't matter how anyone wants to say it. You can hear that only his coordinator is Canada. Hello? Mazi,
Good evening.
good evening. Hotel, hello today. I'm telling you, my brother, this one of us who struggle in media work strongly. Hotel, hello to you, Shaganu.
I know quite, no leave, no transfer.
I'm telling you, my brother. I'm telling you. They won't got the platform for you.
Thank you for this amazing topic you raised tonight. Anyway, your topics have always been captivating. As a trained and certified historian, you are. The truth must always be told, no matter how bitter it is to the ear.
Of course.
The issue people need to understand is that no problem DOS na family of Nnamdi Kanu will now natural IPO be institutionalized. To have a brand name. IPO DOSC, let us institutionalize this struggle. Let us make it a global movement. No wonder intelligence information will be IPO. We didn't know all this why that before now was not was not institutionalized. It was just a brand kind of family. And people are need to tear their lives. I invested years in this matter.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. You did. Prime time.
Family business. So but thank God that US just rose up and pulled the bull by the horn. So our people should understand that this is just the best way to go. Let IPOB be made a global organization, institutionalized organization, so that I'm not going to make sometimes and I make reasonable things. So I want to use the opportunity to call on our people to support the DOS, not Sokoto declaration or not Sokoto DOS. DOS led by Mazi Chike. That is the one we know. The oath we ought to be in this struggle is very explicit, and the more actually risk my future following follow. We need to maintain focus and continue to beam the light, continue to beam the light of truth and enlightenment, which all media warriors have been doing, especially you.
Yeah.
We must not relent, and others. We must always say the truth. Very soon, the man again out behind you. That is just the facts. I'm grateful for your contribution all these years. You have not relented. You have continued to stand in the world by the truth and we must continue to do so.
Yeah.
I want to use this opportunity also to encourage ndị nọkwa ndị isi n'ihe anyị na-eme DOS. Jisi na ike agwụla unu. Ọ dịkwana easy. It has not been easy and it will not be easy. They should keep up. God will keep strengthening everyone. Final point, and it's a question.
Yes, it's a very good question.
I hope sound, and I hope you will soon begin to speak.
Yes, we all hope that he's sound. And a lot of things say Garo, but I think the leadership is on it. No Genadehanya, we believe he will also be joining us. But one of these days we'll have time, just that everything will okay. The end of the Red Sea, he will also be the one to inform Nigerians, the great Biafran people, what happened, what transpired. So be rest assured of that. No, thanks so much. Okay, we have another caller. No, man.
This is not big. I'm getting very, very brief.
It's all right.
Nnamdi Kanu, on a day, he's writing to UN regarding change of this leadership and the rest. Why can't he write to UN to command that Nigerian government jail him with repeat law? Or maybe he has written and they have not responded to him. Is it this one UN will not respond to him? Instead of them to use that energy, the same way they are using this energy now to fight DOS. Instead of them to use that same energy and fight Nigerian government against his detention, against his jailing, they are busy using that energy to fight DOS. The energy they are supposed to be using to write to countries about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu using that energy to write against the DOS. Is that not stupidity? Is that not stupid? If you see the way Kanu writing, go and check his Twitter. 90% somebody that the brother is in life imprisonment, that he puts him there. 90% of his posts is about DOS.
They are living on free rent on his head, you know. He can't do without thinking about them.
He can't do without thinking about. Just check his post. If you want to put about his brother, you will just carry one article, or maybe you put picture and say, King, Nnamdi Kanu King. He doesn't talk about. He doesn't talk about, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He doesn't talk about the case. He doesn't show that okay, we are going to this and this and this country to fight for my brother.
Well, it's very difficult for them to do that. Emmanuel made protest for release of Mazi Nnamdi. You know, they were busy mocking the people.
Yes.
Then when the people say, okay, hence you're mocking us, especially after the Aba incident. Do you know what they did? They went and told him that the DOS does not want to mobilize people again. Give us money. Let us go and hire Showore and some Yoruba guys from Lagos.
Yes.
They paid those guys, bought ticket for Showore to come to Aba. They say it's 1 million man because they wanted to prove to the leadership that they are the ones controlling the movement. You saw what about the so-called about protest, 1 million march. It was just a disgrace. Then they turn back and start saying, oh dear, you have to rally, you have to bring people. Are we joking? We are not joking. What the people gave to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is loyalty. Voluntary loyalty.
Now they are forcing it.
Enye loyalty because now the king of Igbo land. Igbo enweghị eze. Every kindred nwere onye na-achị ha. That is the beauty of Igbo nation. That's why it was so difficult for Britain to conquer. Because you can conquer Orochukwu. Have you conquered Ohafia? You can conquer Ohafia. Have you conquered Nsukka? You can conquer Nsukka. Have you conquered the Were Kingdom? Every people, every sub unit, when you understand me? Our people when this nature, they can love you to a fault, to a point of dedicating their lives for you.
Yeah.
But any they have about put on here I take with the nature of no but always I come mad. They will also backtrack. And that's the mistake. This is the mistake. I made a program 2022. Now I had that this idea of trying to canonize the whole process, it will backfire. Because if you study an Igbo man can love to a fault. Igbo man can love to with everything. But any day, up on on the way on our water, you will hate him. You will hate him. Because all they did the same energy Hogenaya Bulgaria. And that's exactly what is happening now. Because okay, these are some of these things. Some of these things saying Hoga leaking up where things the leadership have been covering for him. Trying to see Morgan pick the signal and make a change. At a time. Yeah, this year they can that these guys were cowards. Cowards.
Yes,
he calls them cowards. And that is the most terrible part of it. All about the leadership coward, because he felt that they can't have the boldness to challenge. And that is not even the annoying part. That the same Otahan na atu egwu na ha na atukwa ha egwu.
Yeah.
About me Otta. That's why Kanu will tell you on live program that either the members of the DOS do it or I will do it by myself. Because at the time they now evolve mentally that even a dog in their house, they're more powerful than the members of the DOS. And there's a level people can tolerate nonsense.
Typical village character in terms of small thing in it.
I could remember I could remember that time I and some members of the DOS were meeting at media level. I said, why are you people keeping quiet over? Do you know what these guys will be telling us? That cool down. What you do not need it's too early to do this. For me, at the time I was mad at them. See, I can't hear these people name the same. These people are interpreting you people's loyalty to be cowardice. How about have cowards? How about saying they don't have balls? Publicly.
Right.
In that they don't have balls. These are men who are already made in their various places of residence. They are not hungry. They are not charlatans. They are not idle. Like Kanu and Co. They are not idle. They are responsible in their host communities and host because they were trying to manage your character. It's how cowards. They have decided to slide off. You can see what is happening. Just check, go the few months, these people say, okay, go on and do your thing. It was in a panty, in the public.
Immediately, there are more than 10 groups.
Good. That is to tell you what these guys have been covering for him. That is to tell you what these guys have been fighting. Just few months, these guys say, okay, we have moved on. Can you see everything about him is collapsing? He's just...
And it's the same way Simon Epa change name. The same thing Mazi did in 100 Men Happy. Simon Epa change ESN. I am a 100 man in one. I am different names. Government until he landed in Prime Minister. He changed name. The same thing the Kanu is changing today. The same thing. That means you will see that these are the people that are advising him. Simon Epa.
Of course. Of course.
I want to ask him, I want to ask him, so what is Kanu Takanu's job? Me, I'm an engineer here.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are doing businesses, doing other, very nice job, doing their thing. What is Kanu Takanu's job in Germany currently? This is a thing that is a call for concern. No?
The truth is,
We ask those questions.
the truth
Even
is,
Makan, what is he doing currently now?
the truth one, IPOB is already a job for them.
I know.
I'm telling you that Kanu, for example, who is sitting and disbursing millions of dollars of the people on a job carry that he just or the Deca Secretary of Treasury of United States. This is the person who tell you that because the wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said something that he was not happy with, or more, or school fees. I don't even understand me. He has a lot. He's already dedicated with a huge assignment. This is, should I say, unceremonial treasurer of the movement.
How can somebody not be working? And useless people that are following these Kanus, they are not acting a very and those useless people that are following these Kanus, they are working their ass out. Yes, even if Kanu will pay them peanuts.
Of course.
But they are working their ass out. But they have not asked the question, Kanu, come, oh boy, come. What do they do? What do they do for that Germany? What are you doing? So your work is just to balance, allocate money to yourself every month, every day, every minute. You allocate money to yourself as you like. Nobody knows what you allocate to yourself till today because the money now kidnapped it till today. So that money they'll be using it for themselves.
Of course.
So no accountability as it stands now, no accountability, nothing. They're using the money anyhow they like. That's what is going on. You will see him irritating pictures. He'll be snapping pictures, traveling from Germany to US. All this money, where are they getting it from? That is the thing. People should be asking these criminals. You won't just come and it's not Meme that went to tour Europe. Where did you get this money from? This is just a straightforward question that people should start asking them. I know that is from the funds, yes. But they should be asking them, are you not working? What is your job? Mr. Man, what is your job? And is there no way that, they can organize, as organize a media, to disgrace these people, bring them publicly to come and do interview?
The truth, there's something greater than media disgrace. It is called karma. It is called karma. You understand me? One thing every one of us here should understand these days. There is no crime that is perfect. It's a matter of time. Imana people are out here, jina abaka odere Germany akwụkwọ na change go because he has instructed the members of the US to withdraw the matter in Germany, and they said, how can we withdraw when it was your brother that sued us and the matter started turning against him? You want us to withdraw it. So you just go set here a new group who will now go to the court and withdraw the matter.
Yes.
To let the brother get out of hook. But I doubt if that is going to happen. I strongly doubt.
It cannot happen.
Good. So, I always tell people it's not all about us. It's not all about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's not all about each and every one. It's all about posterity. Our children will always ask questions. When you saw all these things happening, what did you say? They say, I was afraid of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I was afraid of no, that is pure rubbish. It's pure rubbish. Because whether
Nnamdi Kanu said, what is his job doing Is freedom fighting a job? Check all the freedom fighters that are fought. They are doing something. They are working. Freedom fighting is not a job. You need to have a job, something doing. We don't have a country yet, so you need to have a job. What is Nnamdi Kanu's job? What is Kanu's job? What
And
is
the funniest thing, there is no member of the DOS that is
not working. They are working.
that is placed under salary. None of them.
Yeah,
They decline that. They refuse to accept that. Rather, most of them use their hard-earned resources to engage. Ask yourself, since they seized the fund of the movement since 2021, how have these guys been sustaining men on the ground?
it's not easy.
Most of them even use their personal money instead of to allow the thing to collapse. And they seized the money because they wanted the whole thing to collapse. They wanted the whole thing to collapse. They went to see Soludo and was telling Soludo that some boys were in the bushes hungry. Soludo came on live program and was saying that those of you they put in the bush that were hungry, come out. Just imagine. Just imagine. They did everything to make sure everything could. And the funniest thing is that Onyendu was the one instigating all these things indirectly. He brought Simon Ekpa to destroy the members of the DOS. They were able to crush that one. Teach him a lesson he never forget. Kanunta came. They dealt with him. He pushed Kanunta to do it. Kanunta came. They dealt with him. He went and shot for Avid. In fact, before Avid, he brought a group known as Unseen Hand in Kanu. Yes. Unseen Hands. The leadership also crushed those ones. They now went and told 3 groups to march together. Avid, Rising Sun, and Ambassador. They asked them to march together and help them to fight the leadership. Those ones came, they couldn't do it. He knew that everyone he has projected to help him and destroy these guys, we are not having. He's not doing it by himself. And that is the last stage of every battle. When the actor is now unmasked.
The boat.
Good. So he's not doing it by himself. Because he believes that, the truth is, he believes that these guys could not do what he wants. Let him not do it by himself. That is the last fight.
Yes.
And these guys are watching. They are just watching.
It's a pity that Nnamdi Kanu he does not have patience to endure. If he had endured and followed the directives of this leadership, by now he won't be there.
There's no ground for endurance, because the question is how did they pant down with mad. When he did the boldness is equally from that level. He now boils down to the fact that he knew he was caught at the wrong place. Or guilt. He knew he was caught on the wrong place. So everything on our fight, so they will be so weak to raise a voice to ask.
This man. Anyway, Mazi Chicos, I said let me just call to ask. Let people start asking those criminals. I see the way he writes on Twitter, very irritating, very, very, very irritating. I just feel like if I comment there, maybe we just.
A simple question: why is he writing more than the leader of the Sokoto DOS? That is to Onyenka doesn't even write. Onyenka doesn't. You understand? Why is Kanunta and the family members pushing more than the so-called? Because they know that those ones are ceremonial. They are the real deal. They are the real.
Yes.
benefactors of everything. They know.
Don't be surprised. That Sokoto DOS, they also sacked that one.
The truth is that when the truth is that he paid through to that position. Yeah, the Avid had funded them a lot, so I wonder if they can violate that deal. I doubt.
They can, if they can violate the oath that in IPOP, that one is by now. These people are criminals.
So bad in the Mazi.
They can come out and say, we have sacked you criminal, and they will bring somebody like Eta. These people can do anything. They will sack it. Because they must. I watched the video. Let me just summarize by saying, I watched the video. It was in US. That one they went to where is this place with this man that is fighting for Christian genocide. They went there. They were telling him to talk. He was laughing. They could not even edit the video to cut that place out. These people are very stupid. He was laughing and saying, "What will I say now? Look at."
About the funniest thing.
Yeah.
When you watch the video, I say, animal, fool.
They could not even cut that place. These people are stupid. They could not cut that. And the man was saying, where will I say? What should I say now? What should I say? What kind of people is this? Why? I was embarrassed. Oh, man, let me allow that to go.
Is that right? Okay. We are. This program is really a night program. It's really a night program. All these things sometimes, I am not laughing, stating that it's not a serious matter. Of course it is. But in most cases, as is commonly said in our local dialect, so what is most important here is for us to understand that we must preserve this movement. We must support the leadership. At least they have shown maturity extensively. They have shown maturity to a very reasonable height. Despite, while all these things were happening, most of us do not know. But these guys sought help. And I think the best thing that happened to them is for them to take the bold step. Because it got to a point that, the likes of Canada could tell one person to insult them and tell them to obey. It was so annoying. So, but we must be strong. What we are fighting is a heroic fight. It is a commendable. There is no one who has genuinely passed through the path we are passing that is not globally celebrated today. Go and look at Martin Luther King Jr. He has a day in America. Go and look at Nelson Mandela. He has a day. Go and look at Jawaharlal Nehru. Go and look at Mohammed Gandhi. And go and look at, Ben Gurion. Look at the likes of Zeke. Look at Jomo Kenyatta. And many of them. Those who stood and said, freedom is what we want. It is not a criminal journey. It is not a criminal. In as much as those who are fighting it make sure they are not tempted to go criminal by the oppressor, because the oppressor is always there to corrupt it. That is what state actors do, to corrupt a genuine cause. So I want to thank each and every one of us who called in, who listened. One thing I have discovered this evening is that the minions, I don't know where they went to. Do they sleep that too early? Because I expected them to be on the comment section rampaging, but it seems as if they are quiet. What is going on? It seems they sleep too early, which is very bad of them. They should always keep awake. Very, very. But hence they have chosen to be snoring while this program is going on. Maybe it is for their health purpose. So from here, I want to say good morning and have the best of the day.